What's up?
Yo, welcome back, Hollow Cult.
We are back
Did you miss us? Is
in
the
killing the
question.
game. I'm excited to be here.
So am I. The
I'm
chat is already
excited.
derailed.
Yeah,
One
it doesn't take long.
15 seconds in, and the chat is off, just doing its own thing.
Doing what it does best.
But we are back. Took a little break last week. Just kind of Kyle fucking traversed the entire country, and
I did.
I was sick forever, so it worked out pretty well. We
Awesome.
timed it pretty well.
Yeah, it was the vacation was cool. I got to see a lot of things that I've wanted to see for a long time, Sedona was beautiful. The rocks there, that's one of the pictures I sent you, Steve,
Yeah,
where you
that's
said it looked
awesome.
like a painting.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous there. Long drive though. Holy shit, was that a long drive? 21 hours.
Whew.
Long time.
That's way out there.
Yeah, but we cut it up into 212s, which wasn't terrible, but back
Still
to
a lot
back
of
12s is not the funnest.
car time.
Yeah,
I've
but it
been.
was a lot of fun. Got to visit Stardust Ranch, which was
Did
pretty
you
wild.
did you break in?
No,
Damn.
no, I didn't. Uh I would have liked to grab the letters off the sign there though, because that just would have been icing on the cake.
That would have
Uh
been that would have tracked wonderfully for Hollis Cole.
yeah. And then what was it? Oh, we went to some. My wife was telling me that it's some like little ghost town, but it's touristy, And I'm like, all right, whatever. We can go there. So we go, and I see this lame ass zip line that's there. Like it was so bad. It looked like it was like 30 feet long. It was like a mini dragon's wing, only it just goes straight.
That's tight.
Right. But it was called like Superstition Zip Line or something like that. And I was like, wait a minute. So I got in
Sounds
my,
like a fucking suspicious zip line to me.
yeah. So I got into my little Google map thing and I typed in Superstition Mountains and I was right there. I had no idea that I was right there by the Superstition Mountains.
Yeah, that was
And
dope.
if I remember correctly, on my first Skinwalker episode, do you remember the story where the guy was out there looking for the lost gold and he found a coin? He found a coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was there at the Superstition Mountains, I believe.
Oh damn, hell yeah! Thanks, Kenneth.
Thank you, brother. It's much appreciated. Oh man, but it was cool. Like I said, got to see a lot of things that I've been wanting to see for a long time. We were wanting to stop by Roswell on the way back, but we were just so beat.
That's
We're just like, let's just go straight home, especially with the kiddos and everything. And we're like, let's just try to turn and burn and get home.
Yeah, I
But
don't blame you there. That's a long drive.
yeah,
Period.
right,
Let alone with a couple little kids.
right. But at the end of the day, congratulations to my sister and her husband. They got married. It was a beautiful wedding.
Hell yeah.
Gorgeous day. It was a lot chillier out there than I expected it to be, but it ended up being gorgeous on their wedding day, which was, super important. And then we ended up calling it a night early and getting up the next morning and taking off.
Rolling.
Yeah.
I've never been out to Arizona. I've been to
It's cool.
Colorado. Went out to Wyoming, saw Devil's Tower, but never been down that way, Arizona way.
Yeah, it's cool. It's definitely something worth seeing. And
Yeah.
easy drive. Easy drive.
I see a lot of Lost Dutchman comments. I tried to go get him to go find the mine. That was the first thing I said.
Oh man.
I said, find that some bitch, let's get rich.
Yeah. that would have been awesome, to say the least, though. I saw that we have Brother John in the chat. Brother John. I like that. Brother John.
It's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah. It's up to you, John, if you're hearing this. I could share your story or not, but I want your permission first. because he sent me some pretty wild text messages the other day.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty wild.
No pressure, John, but say yes.
I didn't intend on calling you on person, but here we are. Here we are.
Oh, man. He's thinking about it. He's probably texting you right now, like, get
Probably.
outta
Just
here.
shut up. We drove straight through Albuquerque Autumn. I heard everybody warned me about it, but it was easy peasy. I was more worried about driving through St. Louis than I was Albuquerque.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we got the
permission
green light from
granted.
John. Got the green light from
Granted.
John.
Let's go. I'm stoked.
Let me see if I can dig this up real quick. Got like 1,000,001 text messages on here.
Come out to Utah. I'd love to go back out west. It's been a hot minute. We went to the Badlands in Wyoming a while ago. 2017, I think. 2016, I can't remember. It's been a little bit, but I like heading out that way.
It's cool, man.
Beautiful out there.
It really is. And for someone who's never seen that stuff, like it's breathtaking.
Yeah, that's awesome. Twiz, what up?
That's our dude. All of you are our peeps. But
hell yeah, Strange Road Boys is in here.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What up?
Or one of you, whichever that one is. But so here we go with John. So John texted me the other day, and he was telling me about how he was taking his youngest back to drop him off with his mom, and they were listening to, I assume, our podcast. He just says the podcast, and he's like, so I thought, why not ask him if he had seen or heard anything weird. And his boy's about 11, and he started to go on about what he was calling shadow figures. So him and John sat there and talked about that for a little bit. And what do you say here? He decided since he could make out faces, they were more like ghosts or other entities. Apparently, a little girl talks to him. She whispers in his ear, or so he thinks. And then he also brought up about how he sees a guy in a top hat. So I guess he put the Hat Man episode on so his boy could hear it. And so that they get to talking about that. And his boy was like, it's a dude in a top hat, and he wears dress clothes. He doesn't have the cloak on or anything like that, or the cape or whatever, but it's definitely a dude in a top hat in dress clothes. And then John's like, all right, so here's the part where I get hit with a massive left hook. He says, this is what his boy says to him. Dad, I haven't told anyone this, but when I was 5, I swear I was visited by a mouse, like Mickey Mouse. He was tall, and I wouldn't speak to him. And John's like, dude, my soul left my body. Because if I'm reading this right, John had the exact same encounter when he was 5.
Oh, fuck that.
And he's like, I've never told my kids this shit at all, period, the end. And I'm like, man, the implications of that are shitty.
It's the Andrew family haunting.
It makes me think
of the same entity rise up through the floor.
Yeah.
And the Mickey Mouse is clearly like screen memory.
Bro, that's where I'm at. And then even more so that he describes him as tall. He's like, it was a tall Mickey Mouse. Like that's just terrifying to begin with. Right?
It's gross.
And then it also reminds me of one of my alien encounter stories that I did where the two boys saw the gray in their living room, and it was making them laugh, even though they were petrified on the inside, and it was trying to come closer to them and stuff, but they weren't trying to have it. I don't know, man. It is shitty, shitty, shitty.
Yeah. Because gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, for sure. And there's no part of me that would want to hear that story from my child.
I wonder like what the connection between both generations and the mouse are. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be visited by an entity, even the same entity, but for it to come across exactly the same, it's fucking weird.
Well, they do theorize that there's something to do with bloodlines and the type of blood. It could just be that it could be a family of being marked.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not the only thing John's told me about. He's told me about seeing shadow figures where he lives. He's the other day he was telling me about, I might get it wrong, but he's like, I stepped outside and it was like something was breathing hot sulfur into my face.
That's not good.
No, that's what I said. I'm like, well, that's just bad news all the way around.
Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all.
No.
I remember a couple years ago, I woke up one morning, and I woke up super tired, and something else happened. I can't remember. I don't know if I had a nosebleed or if I was bleeding from my mouth, but I also smelled like sulfur.
That's weird.
That was pre my job now, where that's kind of normal.
Right.
Oh, that was strange. But whatever.
That is.
Whatever. Psh. What's the worst that could happen?
So John says his wasn't exactly the same, but very, very close.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
It is super weird.
Yeah, it could just be the way, like, either the way it presented itself to each of you specifically, or the way that you remembered it. You know, like, because I feel like if somebody asked me what Mickey Mouse looked like, and somebody asked my kid, there would be subtle differences, just because when it was impressionable to me and when it was impressionable to him, the cartoons were different. Not totally different, but different enough.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. I'm
creepy,
ready.
Man.
It is terrifying.
John dips his toes into some weird shit too.
He does.
You know what I mean?
He definitely does. So some of that might be, because of himself there.
John's a good sleuth, man. When we talked about good old Cemetery X for just a hot minute, and it wasn't long, probably 2 weeks?
Oh yeah.
John's is like sending us pictures of the Witch's Bridge and shit.
Yeah.
He's like,
he had a weird encounter there.
Yeah.
He was using that, what do you call that, the spirit box or whatever, and it was basically telling him to leave.
Yeah.
Not to go any farther, and then they did, and it just stopped talking to him. Like, well, what happens next is on you. I am actually pretty much ready to go there.
To cemetery?
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's go.
We gotta get some cameras first, though.
That's fine. I got a thermal.
We gotta get some cameras, and then I think I'm pretty straight on going and doing some weird stuff.
We can have Dylan cause a distraction.
It's true.
So the cops won't show up.
Just cut his other leg with a grinder.
He could. Rob a donut store or some shit.
Yeah, with a grinder.
He would. He's probably listening right now. Strange Road. Cemetery X is blowing up on our TikTok. It's ridiculous. I looked at that TikTok, and they offered about 7 different cemeteries for Cemetery X. So, that being said, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because I was in there creeping. There were some right people, but there were a lot of wrong people as well.
I don't think it's impossible to find, but
no,
it's supposed to be an extra sketch, and it's from what I understand, it's controlled.
There's plot twist at the end. Once you figure out, like, oh, this might be it. There's one extra little where it could throw you for a loop there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm down. Let's go. Let's go. Let's just do a
I'm
live
ready.
show. Do
All
a
right,
live show from
I'm
there.
down. That would be awesome if we could figure that out.
Yeah, that would be sick.
I'd do it though. I'm just gonna be on the point of Karen.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. It's gonna make good internet
For sure.
one way or another.
Right. What else? Oh, I saw some crazy freaking reels on Instagram. Have you seen the one where I don't know, somebody said it might be LiDAR, but I don't know how LiDAR works. But there was a video of a plane flying over at night, and it had you remember the stupid green lasers that were appearing over Hawaii?
Yep.
Well,
right before the balloon came through.
Right. I saw a video of a plane flying at night, and it had the same type of green laser coming from the bottom of it. Well, you're crazy. But I love where the donations go for this. The Hell Camino. That's epic.
Dude, first off, thank you, because
yes.
Holy shit. Second off, Dylan's been on it, sending me pictures of El Caminos all the time.
That's a good call. Dilmo could definitely hook us up.
Hell yeah.
I'm saying, I'm dead serious. If we can find, and we're using that, and it's got to be a Hell Camino. Like that's so good. It's so good. It has to be a Hell Camino. I would 100% buy a Hell Camino for the podcast car.
Oh, that's gonna be it.
100%.
That's gonna be it.
That would be so fucking
giant
cool.
Fucking Dogman versus Sasquatch murals on it, and
it'd be so cool.
Fairy circles, and it's gonna be legit.
And then we got to find a sweet camper shell for
Put a fucking camper shell on it. That's what I was just gonna say. Have Rob Zombie build it. He probably, I feel like he'd probably get behind it.
That would be so awesome. I would be so stoked.
Yeah. Yeah. Hollow, the El Camino threw me for a loop there. Whew.
That would be so cool.
Oh, Rod's Fishing Adventures in here. Hell yeah. Burton, local legend Burton's in here.
What's going on?
I'm so happy to be back and doing this again.
Me too, man. Me too.
It's like a reunion every week.
Yeah, I legitimately missed it while I was on vacation. I just kept wanting to work.
That's true. Dylan he has been sending me El Caminos with camper shells. So
my guy. That means we got to start getting some serious banks so we could buy a sweet El Camino.
That means we got to get proton packs.
Well, naturally.
Capture the ghosts.
Naturally.
They'll fit in the camper shell.
Yeah. 100%. So I want a couple t-shirts and some stickers. We got it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is why we're the bastard sons of the paranormal. No one will ever take us seriously.
No. Especially if we pull up at El Camino.
I feel like that's more of a reason for them to take us seriously.
No, not at all.
What if I cut my hair into a mullet?
Then yes. That yeah. I would definitely take you serious. I'd be like, this guy, he might not know what he's doing, but what he does do, he does it with all seriousness.
Yeah.
Right, if that makes sense.
Yeah. He's sure of himself. We're not sure what he's sure of, but he's sure of it.
Exactly. 100%.
It's getting long in the back, so we're getting close.
I'm about to shave all my hair off.
We're getting close.
Going the opposite direction. That kind of adds up, right?
It's getting pretty trashy.
We like trashy.
Yeah. I just own it. It's just where I'm at.
Hey, Maynard, thank you.
Oh, hell yeah. What's up, Maynard?
Great you, brother.
Hope you're doing good, brother.
Yeah.
Mullets, wife beaters, and jewelries. I have a terrible, terrible sunburn picture where I was out doing landscaping, and I didn't think it was as hot as it was. So I was just wearing a wife beater tank top, and I just roasted
Love it.
for hours, except for those 2 little straps right
Mm-hmm.
on the shoulders. Trap straps.
Yep, been there too.
It was terrible.
Been there too.
Absolutely terrible. I hated myself for
So
about 3 weeks.
what's some weird shit you've heard in the past week or so? Anything?
I don't know. Man, I was so sick. Like 2 weekends ago, the weekend you guys first left, I think I got COVID again. I didn't take a test because I feel the same fucking way every time I get it.
Right.
And I was pretty much in bed all weekend.
That sucks.
Then I had that work test in the middle of the week, so I was focusing on that. And then come Friday, I got started feeling shitty again. And then it hit me this weekend with the stomach flu, just boom, 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 boom. But like I said, it worked out perfectly because you were out of town, so we
Right.
didn't really miss any time. If I had to pick 2 weekends to be sick in a row, those are the 2 best ones.
Yeah.
But I saved, man, I was saving some stuff to my Facebook or some shit. I can't remember. I was just in a sickness-induced haze.
Yeah, I understand that because it does suck, especially when you get all pukey and all that garbage.
Yeah, I was not having a good time.
No, I can imagine.
But I guess we could talk about our possible little platform switch that might be coming up. We're probably going to be switching off Podbean before too long. Probably going to go over to Red Circle. Got a lot of friends on Red Circle. Eric from Uncomfortable's over there, and everybody seems to like it quite a bit. It shouldn't affect any of the podcatchers or anything, but we've been in talks with them. They sound like they're pretty willing to treat us pretty good if we go over there. So
also, probably here. So everybody be ready.
Be ready.
Be ready. But I'm thinking most likely within the next week, probably week, as long as I can find the time to button up some things. But the stores should be open in about.
Yeah.
So I gotta have Steve go through the website with me, clean everything, make sure everything's legit. See if he wants to add, subtract anything.
I gotta count a fuck ton of stickers.
Yeah, I got my wife to help me with a couple of the shipping things that I don't quite understand, and then we're good. So we'll have right off the rip, we should have shirts and stickers in there.
Official cult merchandise.
Yeah,
for all of you.
Yeah, so be ready. That's coming.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people ask about it, so finally getting around to it.
Yeah, Kyle's been putting in a lot of work and everything squared away. We're getting we should be pretty close to getting all the business side fucking lined out, and then we can just create content.
Hammer.
Hopefully we'll get out and about and get to some conventions this year. I know there's quite a bit going on, but the more I think about it, the more I love going out there and being able to meet people and just kind of hang out and kick it for a little bit. It's a good time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a good time.
Clever people. You clever people.
I'm with it.
Yeah, I'm not arguing it at all.
What about the chat? What's some paranormal weirdness anybody's been running into on there? I know there's been I've found a couple new declassified documents. I don't know how new they are, but they were new to me. So I usually pop them right over to the Patreon for everybody to take a little peek at. What about the Holocult Festival? Well, I'm not going to say we haven't talked about it.
I mean,
like a Holo Camp.
The bigger we get, I would say it's probably going to be inevitable.
Yeah, because the cult members are going to demand it, or there's going to be a mutiny.
Right.
Is that what you call when cult members take over the cult? Is that still a mutiny?
Well, it is when we talk
That's
about it.
true. You're right. You're right.
And if we're, we've always been kind of in cahoots with Tony, and Tony's talked about doing the same thing, which we kind of seems like we kind of have an automatic invite, for the time being. But also
We're
he's got a
assuming. No pressure, Tony.
but he's got his documentary getting ready to come out, which I'm pretty excited about because it's about skinwalkers. So
Oh hell yeah!
it looks pretty awesome.
I know he's got a little conference meet and greet thing he's got coming up too. I shared it on the Facebook. I can't remember when it is.
It's in
That
Washington.
Bigfoot one, yeah.
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 So that's pretty awesome. Everybody keep on the lookout for that. I'm pretty sure Colleen, I think she's going.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. I think I got seen something about it in Discord about how she's going.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Twiz is the bouncer. He's ready to go.
Dudes, really?
Aliens
You're supposed to not acknowledge that.
back. I inboxed you on Facebook. I'll have to check it. Like I said, I've been kind of out of it this week.
Right on.
Holosky vape juice. What flavor would it be? Monster and camo.
Camo. I love that.
There's not enough camo flavor.
No.
Anything in the world.
I agree.
Matter of fact.
I 100% agree.
Oh, yep. There's Colleen, April 6th. Man, that's coming up. I didn't realize it was that close, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, that's because he said he wants to link up with us again. But I was on vacation, so that kind of messed that up. And then he said that he said he was going out to Washington to do documentary, but for some reason my brain was thinking the other Washington, D.C.
Oh,
I'm like, what?
That'd be a different.
Hell is he going there for?
Different documentary.
Right. Yeah.
Paranormal Trucker's in here. What up? Oh, he's had the flu too. Man, it's been going around, bud.
Oh, thank you, dude.
Oh, hell yeah. Let me pop that up there. Thanks, Johnny. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Interesting. Oh, that's fucking weird. Lady I'm talking to said she was in a hammock with a friend stargazing when she saw a man-shaped TV static being in her peripheral, so she ran inside and her friend followed. They both described the same thing.
Where have we heard that before?
Dude,
I know.
Yeah, static beings. We had just.
Yes.
It wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't. Which is, I don't know. That gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. Where have I heard that?
Dude, I know we talked about it not too long ago.
Yeah, we were talking about it on the show. I'm trying to think about what shows we've done. What is camo flavor? I'm gonna say caffeine, nicotine, derby car exhaust, and probably indigestion.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds like a Saturday night.
And cherry Coke, cherry cola. You're gonna get a cherry cola flavor on there.
Oh, brother John. 20 spot.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Thank you.
You guys be ready for him too, because when we go out on trips, John's definitely in, and it's gonna get weird.
I'm curious about the combination of John and Dylan.
That's gonna be good.
I think that's gonna be a whole different show.
Probably
be a whole different show. Hollow Cult. How much weirdness have you experienced in the last 2 weeks? Because we're about to open these lines up. It's been 30 minutes. We've been sitting here just jack jawing, so we're ready to roll.
It is getting
man.
There.
They are obsessed with your feet today.
They're not anything glorious.
That is a humble man right there.
Sorry, guys. I wear steel toe work boots all day, every day. Actually, while I was out in Arizona, my wife was trying to get me to get a pedicure.
No luck.
No, I'm like, that's stupid. I need I need all the rough edges on my feet because if not, my boots will just eat my feet up again.
It might have changed. It might have changed your life.
Anybody that wears work boots knows exactly what I'm talking about.
You are correct. When's Kyle's OnlyFans launching?
Hey man, one step at a
Man.
time. I'm building the website. I've been dealing with Red Circle.
Been
Just
in Arizona.
there, yeah, yeah. That's a small one.
Maybe we could just do a candid foot cam that we can put on OnlyFans. The Kyle candid
mean,
foot cam.
At the same time, though, am I too prideful to sell feet pics? No.
No.
If somebody legitimately wants to pay me for a foot picture, I will send you a picture of my foot.
That's if the Hollow Cult in the Discord does not quote that verbatim, I'm gonna be real disappointed. Real disappointed. All right.
It's good
Open the
times.
lines or not. Let's see here.
Yeah, I think we should do it.
What do you want?
I think we should do it.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's get weird.
Kabow!
Steady over a hundo here.
That's awesome.
Bunch of
that is awesome.
Wildness.
Hopefully we get to 5 million.
Oh, that'd be sick.
I would quit my job.
We get 200 in the chat. I'll unleash this magnificent mane that is made for podcasting.
It is.
I have a haircut for radio.
I like your long hair.
It suits you. It's its own entity.
It suits you. Just like Brother John. I like Brother John's long hair.
I figure I can't grow a good mustache in. I got this little snot trough right here that won't grow in. So I might as well grow it on the top of my head.
Oh boy. We got a
live one.
We got a local calling.
We got a live one.
He's a local.
Uh-oh.
Hello, welcome to the night shift.
Yo.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Kenneth?
Not much. I figured I'd call in with that Ouija board.
Yeah.
Experience.
Hell yeah.
So there's actually 2 of them. They happened within just a couple months of each other. So this is back when I was like 21, 22 years old. And me and a bunch of friends were out at Sin Night, service industry night. It was basically a bunch of restaurant workers getting drunk on the Sunday. And I end up talking to this woman when we go back to her place. And we get in there and she's like, you want to do a Ouija board session? And, I'm just like, sure. And the red flag probably should have been when she just grabbed a piece of white paper and drew out a Ouija board and grabbed her own special glass, which had frosted images on it.
Yeah, I'm going to say...
probably should have told me not to be there.
I'm not going to say you missed the warning signs, but...
I missed the warning signs.
There you go.
Right. So we sat down at her little dining room table kind of thing, and no more than 3 feet tall. And we're going, and this is all, typical Ouija board stuff. I mean, the glass is moving around, and she drew this thing so perfect that if it was on one letter, it wouldn't be on another one. Like, she knew what she was doing. And out of nowhere, the glass slings off the table and hits the wall. But it hits the wall at what would be my eye level, which is 6 foot. So
that's some big energy you're dealing with there, bud.
yeah, real big energy. And I mean, in order for her to have done it, she would have had to have rolled her hand and thrown it up. And that did not happen. And so we just kind of stood there, sat there or whatever, and we're like, what the fuck's just going on? And it was probably, I would say, close to 15 minutes. I was just like, well, this was fun. I gotta go. I don't want anything coming with me. Goodbye. And I left. And that was the last time I had anything to do with the spirit board, Ouija board kind of thing.
I can't blame you there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
wonder
then-
if there's any more significance in creating your own.
I feel like there could be.
Yeah, if you're putting more intent into it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I'm thinking.
Well, I mean,
probably.
Yeah, she had said that it's a better connection.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You know, she was like, I don't use a board because I prefer this way. It's a better connection. I have my own glass instead of a planchette.
I 100%. I could get behind that. I can definitely get behind that.
Yeah. Makes you wonder how many times she's done this. Like,
probably quite a few.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, like if you were to just grab a sheet of white paper from a printer and make a board within like a minute and a half,
That's
it was done.
That's
Like she did this a lot.
Pretty intense.
Yeah, and especially for the results that happen, like you at first you almost think it's some type of like cheesy parlor trick where you're like, okay, come on, you're using a piece of printer paper, and then it harvests the results that it did, and you're like, well, okay, maybe this is a little something more to this.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna say you missed the red flags. Some people like to swim in hurricane season. You know, you just ignore them. You just go for it. But now you've learned.
Yeah, that's why I haven't messed with any kind of thing like that since.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, you guys know about the whole thing with the kid specter and the Ouija board that was supposedly used before there, and I've told you guys numerous times, like if we ever want to go investigate something, I am not messing around with the Ouija board. I'll cover myself in salt and sit in the corner.
Hell yeah, I respect that.
Yeah, for sure. There's that once again that what's that damn? I forget the name of it now. The demon podcast.
Oh, Exorcist
Files.
Yeah, they had one on Ouija boards.
Yep.
That was a wild story.
I've missed. Have they been putting out new?
Yes.
Oh, I've missed it.
Yeah, the new one's called Infest.
Yeah.
That's dope. I don't want to mow your lawn here, Kenneth, but I'll gladly give you a shout out if you're cool with it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the homie's starting a pod of his own. Be on the lookout. Called The Creaking Ropes of Destiny. We're getting stoked for it. So as soon as that drops, we will definitely let you know. Support the Hollow Cult.
Yeah. I should be getting all of my equipment in mid next week. So
Awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Another comrade in the fight.
Hell yeah. All right. And then so the other thing that happened, and like I said, these happened within a couple months, right? So I had some friends that were in a metal band, and they may have allegedly gone to a rundown insane asylum here in Iowa and taken some video footage for a video. Right?
Definitely metal.
That is pretty metal.
Yeah, right. I mean, it was great, and we're all sitting at a house and we're watching this footage. My buddy he took the video and he was mixing all the audio into it, and we watched it, and then we all decided we wanted to go there. And they're like, well, we probably shouldn't because it was actually taped off and had major warnings about asbestos. But there's a house. You know, they're like, there's a house that's up on the hill that's run down. So, like I said, allegedly, we may have gone out there, and this house, trees are growing through the windows. Like it has not been used for a long time. It was 70 some years since the insane asylum had closed, and we're gonna go through it. There's about 7 of us. We took 2 carloads up there. And we get in on the first floor, and I just got a feeling. And I was like, nope, I'm good. I'm going to go sit on the car. So I literally like walked out and sat on the car, and like 30 some minutes they're in there. And I'm just chilling on the hood of the car, smoking cigarettes. And the other like 6 people come walking out onto the front porch, and they all stop and stare at me. And they say, "How the hell did you get out here?" And I was like, I've been out here the whole time. They're like, no, you were with us. We all saw you walking in all the rooms with us. Like there was a doppelganger of me that once I left, followed them all around. And they were all like, we all thought it was kind of weird you weren't saying anything, which out of all of us, I was the one that was like most into that kind of stuff. And
That's creepy.
yeah, and the whole way back, the carload I was in, they were just like, "No, you were in there. You had to have been in there." I'm like, "No, I wasn't."
That's
Dead
terrifying.
serious.
Like that's definitely a paranoia of mine.
How do we
ever
know
since
we're talking
doing-
to the real Kenneth?
Right.
You don't.
Solid.
Yeah, you said that like not a creeper.
Well, I mean, it was the same question 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
With the doppelganger thing, it was like, how do we know we're talking to the real ones? Like, you
Maybe
don't.
Right.
the whole holo cult is just doppelgangers.
Let's hope so. That would make a lot of sense. But yeah, ever since I did the Wayward Hills Sanatorium episode and hearing about those encounters, that is so creepy. So creepy. I just don't even know what I would do.
Well, and it's like, so there had probably been numerous times that I may have allegedly gone out into the rural areas in Iowa and gone into abandoned farmhouses and whatnot and just poked around. But this place, as soon as I walked in, I was just like, no, not me. And then that happened, like I said, within a month or two after the whole Ouija board experience thing. And to have all that happen.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but at the same time, it's kind of not, where you're kind of like, well, I mean, it kind of makes sense now.
Yeah, it kind of goes with the flow.
Well, yeah, it's weird, but it's it seems to almost be, par for the course. The way things seem to go,
100%.
But anyway, dude, I love you guys. Night shift rocks. Maynard is home.
Yes, sir.
Hell
Congratulations
yeah,
to
I
him.
saw that.
And I will get off of here and let somebody else get in on this night shift.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much for
It was
calling in.
good to hear from you, Kenneth.
You're welcome, bro.
Yeah, we'll see you, man.
See ya.
Was it that trickster episode I did with the military unit where the thing kept coming out?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yep. We got another one.
Let's go.
Hello, welcome to the night shift.
Yo.
Oh shit! You guys actually answered.
Yeah, buddy.
Surprise.
Real quick before I start, I'm a firefighter and I'm on shift, so if I get a call, I'm gonna have to cut it loose.
Understandable.
But I to preface this, my wife and I both have always had a pretty strong paranormal understanding always growing up. She saw shit growing up. I heard shit growing up, and I guess that all culminated when we got married. Everything started about 15 years ago for us together. She started seeing shadow men in the house at night, waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And there's a shit ton of details that goes into this. So if you want more, I'd be more than happy to provide like EVP recordings and shit from investigations that we've had done.
That's awesome.
Oh, dude, it's fucking sick. But so it started with the shadow men. Then about 6 months later, it progressed. 3 o'clock in the morning, she woke up and there's this kid standing in front of her, like nose to nose with her. It scares the shit out of her and she tries to punch it and it goes away. Well, it would wake her up about probably 4 times a week, and then it started doing the same thing to me. There were times where I'd wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and it sounds like there's fucking kids' toys playing in the living room. The TV's on full blast and shit. You walk out into the living room and there's nothing fucking on. So I'm like, oh, fuck, that's weird. I was just dreaming. So I go back to bed. Next night, it wakes you up again, and then all of a sudden, it wakes you up. And about a minute later, my kids in the other room start screaming. Meanwhile, the kid wakes my wife up, and about 5 minutes later, she gets back asleep, and she wakes up, and there's the shadow man standing over her. We dealt with that for probably 7 years. All through those 7 years, we've had priests and pastors from every religion we could think of come and bless the house, and each one of them gives us, different kinds of theories on what the fuck's going on. We've had sage burnt in the house, and each time this shit happens, it would give us relief for a couple days, and then it starts right the fuck back up. We move out of the house in 2015, and it seems like everything's fine. No more shadow men, no more kids waking us up. We move into my new house in 2019, and about a month into the house, it's a 2-story house. You can hear creaking upstairs, and I attribute it to just the house settling. But the weird thing is, it almost sounds like footsteps that you can trace through my bedroom upstairs. I was like, no, that's just the fucking house settling. You'd hear it like at night watching TV downstairs. My kids look at me. I'm like, no, dude, it's the fucking house settling. And then I give my wife the side eye. I'm like, no, I don't know what the fuck that was. About a year ago, my wife started seeing this shadow man again, and it's always either standing in the corner of the room or standing in the doorway. She said that there was a couple times that when it was standing in the corner of the room, it like rushed at her but disappeared before it touched her. And then last week, my wife said that she saw the little boy standing in front of her again. The shadow man has always given her this feeling of dread. It's like every fucking shadow man story you hear. This feeling of dread, like this thing is just fucking intensely angry. But this little boy doesn't give her that feeling. I'm not sure what's going on. It's just weird. Also, so I'm a ghost doc on the Discord. About a month ago, I posted my Nest doorbell camera that caught this figure appearing across the street and taking like 20 steps and then disappearing.
I did see that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fucking nuts. But yeah, we did have investigators come to the old house. They were a sister branch of the Taps TV show.
Oh wow,
Ghost Hunters.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they were out of Daytona. When they got to the house, it was the main investigator, his wife, and their assistant. Well, the dude's wife gets out of their car. She looks at my house and she's like, "I'm not going in the fucking attic."
Damn.
The lead investigator's like, "Why?" She's like, "I'm not fucking doing it." He's like, "All right, whatever." So I have probably 5 EVP clips. I'd be more than happy to send you guys.
for sure. That'd be awesome.
It's yeah. I won't tell you what they say. I'll let you listen to it for yourself and see what you guys think.
That'd be That'd be awesome. But it makes me wonder, like, was something attached to your wife?
So I don't know. The town that we live in, it's a smaller town, about, I don't know, 45 minutes northwest of Orlando. Legend in the town goes that it was built on Indian burial grounds. It used to be a Seminole tribe village. The neighborhood that she moved into when she was a kid was legend to be one of those grounds. The house that her dad had built was built brand new. It was a 2-story house. The whole top stairs was a living area, and the bottom floor was pretty much unfinished. So they would turn the bottom stairs or bottom floor into like a party area, big TV stereo system, a gathering area. Well, they would wake up in the middle of the night and the fucking TV is on full blast, or the stereo is on full blast, and they'd have to go downstairs and turn the shit off. That happened all the time. And then as you go back up the stairs, both my wife, her 2 sisters, and her brother say that it felt like something was chasing you up the stairs. We've all had that shit growing up, but there's something different about that feeling of something actually fucking being there. There's a story of her mom washing dishes upstairs, and out of the corner of her eye, this girl crawling up the stairs, fucking ring style, hair going down into her face. It gets to the top of the stairs, stands up straight, stands there for a couple seconds, and then runs towards my wife's room as she was a kid.
That was scared shit out of me.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, her mom runs to her room. She's like, "What the fuck were you just doing?" She's like, "What are you talking about? I'm doing homework." She's like, No. I watched you crawl up the fucking stairs like a weirdo." She's like, "Nope, wasn't me."
That's gross. I don't know if I could do that one, man. That one would creep me out.
Yeah, just the whole kid apparition thing creeps me the fuck out.
Oh yeah,
I know
like you're saying, like right in your face and waking you up. That I don't even like it when my kids do that.
Oh,
like,
dude,
they're
it's
about
like
2
nose
seconds
to
away
nose.
from getting popped.
And
because it startles
one
you.
thing. So yeah, nose to nose, you open your eyes and see someone else's face, it's gonna freak you out.
Oh yeah.
Well, it got to the point where, as my oldest son grew up, he's probably 5 or 6 at this point. He wakes up my wife, and she does what she normally does and puts this motherfucker in a headlock. Well, it's my son, and he's screaming, "Mom, it's me!" And he's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry." But this shit happened all the time. Well, we started ignoring the kid closer to the end of living in that house, and it got more, I wouldn't say aggressive, but more urgent and trying to wake us up, I guess. That just standing there wasn't waking us up anymore. It started to shake the bed. It would like fuck with the sheets or fuck with your feet. It would try to pull your pillow and shit like that.
That's so
I'm not sure if that entity was trying to warn us of the Shadow Man, or warn us that something was trying to fuck with our kids. I never got a bad feeling from the kid. It just was there.
That's what I was going to ask, is if maybe the kid was he's the prelude, like he's the warning to what's about to come.
That's what I'm thinking, because he always preluded the Shadow Man waking my wife up. The Shadow Man's never fucked with me. It's always been her.
That's weird.
Yeah, but there in the investigation, there is another entity in the house, and it's a female. My wife never saw her. I did. But the female didn't like my wife. And you'll hear one of the voice clips that I'll send you guys.
It's crazy.
I'm
I don't
excited
know, like
for the EVP.
It makes me think just so many different things, man. But it throws me for a loop because it follows you. And if it was just in a house, it would almost make me wonder if, like, and this is probably going out on a limb, but it'd make you wonder if like the shadow man was a dad, the kid was their kid, then you have this wife that's in there too. Like there might have been some murder suicide situation,
like a residual haunting, and they're wondering who's in their house.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I was worried about a residual haunting at first. We had the investigators do like a full background on the house. The house was built in 1981. There were no deaths reported in the house, no suicides, anything like that, no murders. So there was nothing attributed to that house. Now, if anything happened on the land before the house was built, such as, like Indian burial ground type shit, back in the old days, who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
Now, I will say, when I did see the female figure, the one time I saw it, she was like in a light blue, almost like a Little House on the Prairie type dress, which would lend more credence to the past life type shit. But yeah, the shadow figure, she never has gotten like a fatherly figure feeling from it. It's always just like a I fucking hate you type feeling.
Did the hauntings in the first house, did it occur pretty much the entire time you were there, or did it just come out of nowhere?
No, so it was probably, my wife bought the house 2 years before we got married, and then it was about 2 years later that all the shit started.
That's weird.
Oddly enough, it all started after we had watched Paranormal Activity, the first movie.
That's
a little ironic.
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah. What's even more fucking ironic and strange is, do you remember in the movie where this demon lived, specifically in the house?
I want to say the attic.
The fucking attic, right? Because they traced the little chicken footprints back up into the attic.
Dude,
that's weird.
That scene scared the living shit out of me.
God, and this is what scared the shit out of me. The day that everything started for us, I was working early morning, so I'd get up at 4 a.m. I'd get ready for work, and then I'd go to work. Like, I'm in the bathroom, it's 4 a.m. I come out of the bathroom, and my wife's like, "What are you looking for?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I just got out of the bathroom." She's like, "No, you're pacing around the bed. You've walked around the bed like 7 times. And why are you fucking wearing your work boots in the house?" "What are you talking about?" She's like, "You're stomping around the bed. Stop. I'm trying to sleep." I'm like, "Babe, let's go back to sleep." Okay, whatever. Mind you, I'm not wearing my work boots. I'm barefoot. So she calls me at like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. My oldest son is probably 18 months at the time. I answer the phone, and she's like, "There's something in the house." I'm like, "Well, then fucking hang up and call 911. She's like, No. There's something in the house." It's like, "What do you mean?" She's like, me and my son and our son were laying there in bed, and something opened up the closet door. We had the scissor style closet doors where, it hinges open in the middle. It slams open. And my son sat up, and he's like, "Mommy, what was that?" She slammed his head back down on the pillow and covered both of their heads with a cover. She's like, "It's nothing." Door slams back shut. Well, it's a small house. It's 1,100 square feet. The only way into the attic was through that fucking closet.
Oh gosh.
Nope.
So
that's disgusting.
Nope.
No.
We had just watched that fucking movie, and this shit happened.
Dude, that's weird.
It is so weird, man. I don't know. The whole encounter is weird. The fact that like it tapered off for a while too, like between 2015 and 2019. That's fucking weird.
Yeah. We had lived in this house for probably a year before anything even started, but I mean, we lived in the old house for a couple years before anything started then too. So I don't know.
Strange. It's like I don't even want to say it because it makes me feel gross, but it's like it's following you, but it takes time to find you.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I don't know, that gave me chills whenever you were talking about the closet door.
I don't like that at
Yeah.
all.
No. No.
So after I got some balls and finally went up into the attic to have a look around, there was nothing in the attic. The only thing I did find was a gift bag. That was, I don't know, probably a 12 by 12 gift bag with a melted candle, not like burnt melted, but it was sitting up in a fucking hot Florida attic. So it was all like wilted over and shit. And then what else was in there? It was like a costume witch's hat.
That's
It still gives
sus.
me,
A little
yeah, a
sus.
little bit
Yeah.
there, a little bit.
That's so weird, man.
And so this is the first time I've ever told anybody like outside of family and friends. So I'm leaving out a shit ton of details. But I will send you guys the EVP recordings. They had probably 26 hours of audio recordings to go through, and sent me, I think, 9 recordings that they thought were legitimate. But yeah, I'll send you guys those recordings to have a listen to, and I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about them.
Awesome, man. Thank
Yeah,
you.
for sure. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing the story.
Yeah,
If
fucking
it's
hey, dude.
if it's still fucking with your family, I hope it chills out.
Yeah, I've contacted a couple other people, trying to see if I can get some guidance on what we can do. Because I mean, it doesn't mess with me, like I said. It mainly messes with her, and I'm just not cool with that. So
Yeah.
I got to find something to
Feel that.
squash this shit.
That's weird, man.
But yeah, you guys stay weird, and I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, man.
Yeah,
You
we'll
do the
see ya.
same.
Stay
Stay
safe and
safe
stay
out
weird,
there.
brother.
Absolutely.
All right, Hollow Cult, that's your call.
Wild.
Help a member out.
Yeah,
Got
no
some shit
doubt.
going on.
No doubt.
Okay, so M heard that too. I heard that going on when he was talking. Did you hear that, Kyle?
Yeah, he did say he was at work.
Oh, true.
Did he say he's a firefighter, right?
Yeah, that might have
So
something to do with
that
it.
would be my guess,
Good call. Because
but
it was
maybe
rhythmic.
not.
Like it was pretty much the same time all the time. So, but I did hear it because I'm like, hold up.
Yeah, I heard it too. I definitely heard it.
But that is, man,
Dude, I couldn't imagine being plagued like that.
It's so bizarre that I don't feel like it's geographical at all, because they moved there and it was cool for a few
Right.
years. Then it kicks in. Then they move, and like the time before where they're like in between, like I'll just call it permanent residences from one house to their next house, nothing goes on.
Right.
It's almost like what if it's an artifact? I saw a bunch of people talking about it in the chat, and they just have it put away in storage until they move to their permanent home, get it back out, and it just starts building energy, and after about a year, here it goes.
Could be.
I don't
Definitely
know.
could be. Yeah, I don't know.
Then you think if it was personal attachment, it wouldn't matter where they were at.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. That's a hard one.
It's weird.
Yeah, I can't.
It's fucking weird.
I don't know why it would spring up right after they watch that movie, unless it has like it almost makes you feel like it has some type of tulpa-ish vibe. Right, like
Yeah.
because it came from the attic. It came after they watched that movie. Like, I don't know, like it was trying to,
Like they were thinking about it, and then you just gave more energy.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. And maybe it picked up on that fear and wanted to exploit it, so to speak. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Oh, John's asking, how big was my dream demon? Big, because it had to duck through my door to look into my bedroom. So say probably, I don't know, 8 feet tall.
Yeah, John did tell me about that. He said he had a pretty wild dagger to try to fight a demon.
He's fast though. He's fast.
Yeah, John did say he got his ass beat. He lived. He lived, but he got annihilated. I did see. Oh, speaking of, since we're in between calls right now, bunch of people were talking about the God's left hand.
Yeah.
Story, right? And there was a bunch of people that said, I'll have to try to dig through it and properly present it, but I'm pretty sure I caught a couple where like the last fight basically for Judgment Day is going to be held in Africa, like that geographical location. I thought that was interesting. And then on top of that, Tony's recent episode, for me personally, almost halfway tied into that. Like they were one and the same in a weird way. Like, because this lady's on and she's talking about the mothers of darkness and what have you. And she mentioned, she brings up a lot about like the battle and all this bizarre shit that just was like, man, it's like two pieces of the puzzle right here. They're just looking at each other. It's so, and the timing's weird, right? Because it's our last episode and it's his most recent episode. And I don't know, it's just something about it, dude. Something about it makes me feel like they're connected in a way. Really bizarre.
It is strange. I'll have to listen to it.
Yeah, I would, because like I said,
pick up on some.
It feels like it's connected. Could be 100% wrong, but I feel like it's connected.
I'm still trying to figure out.
She was talking about the devil's attempt to basically break into heaven, and he had like, what was it, guys? Alpha and Omega soldiers. Like they were two different. It was crazy. Like they would use our souls to kind of like piggyback their way into heaven. Like it was almost like they'd infect us. That way they could piggyback their way and break into heaven. It was really, really weird.
I'll have to check it out.
It was decent. Cheryl, no, Tony is the host of the Confessionals podcast.
Yeah. Eric is the Uncomfortable podcast.
Yes, correct.
Check them both out, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Yeah, it was interesting story. Interesting story, to say the least.
I was listening to Ghost Doc tell his encounter. And as I'm sitting there listening, it really did just kind of feel like we're sitting around a campfire with our friends talking about weird stuff that has happened to us. What was that
again?
I said as Doc was telling his encounter, I was sitting here thinking that like this really does feel like just hanging out with my friends listening to weird shit.
Oh yeah. All right, well here we go. We got another one.
Let's go.
Welcome to the night shift.
Yo.
Yeah, this is Bert.
What's up, Bert?
What up, bud?
Hey guys. Kyle.
What's up, man?
Glad you made it back.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm very jealous, by the way.
Same.
I saw that you were by the Superstition Mountain.
Yeah.
Same, he says. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Stardust. It's just awesome. Anyways, I was talking in the chat about a house that we had rented a few years ago that was haunted. Okay. And so they told me I should call in. Anyways.
Let's do it.
We were looking for a place because we were renting another house that's quite small, and family's getting bigger. So we found an ad in our local paper for a house out for rent, fairly cheap. So we decided to drive by the house after we set up an appointment to go, rent this, check it out, see if we wanted to rent it. And we pull up to this house. It's huge. It's like an old Victorian style house, and we're like, well, this must be misinformed. This must be like a half apartment on upstairs, and the downstairs must be an apartment.
because this house is way too big for the price that we're looking. So we go in there, we meet the lady, she's super nice. And she's like, no, it's the whole house. So we're like, oh, perfect. So we, of course, decide to rent it. And right away, like, it was nice at first, and it still was a beautiful house. I remember I was shoveling snow outside on the front step, and I had my daughter with me. She was in her snowsuit. And I turn around, and Cassie and Jaden are both standing on the step. And it's very cold out. They're like basically still in their pajamas, and they're like, you need to come in the house. So I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, you need to get in here now. So I'm like, okay. And the basement of this house, it was where the laundry room was. And they said, we went to go switch over laundry, and we open up the door, we get a few steps down the stairs, and there's a growling in the basement. Don't know what it is, but something is down there. So I'm like,
nope.
that's, yeah. And they're like, it freaked them out so bad they were standing out in the freezing cold waiting for me to turn around so they could get my attention. They're like, I ain't going back in the house by myself. So okay, so I go in there, I check the basement, I don't find anything, nothing's in there. They're like, it was a loud growl, something was down there. And I don't know like who rented the house before us, but on the master bedroom upstairs on the door, somebody had carved into it a swastika. Not a big one, but enough to realize, hey, that's a swastika. And they did the landlord special where they painted over it, trying to build up some paint on it, but you can still see it. So I'm like, that's weird. But that's like that room started to get scratching in the walls, like behind the walls. It would move up and around, like something was either in the wall, but it didn't happen all the time. But whenever it did happen, it was very weird because it sounded like something was going to break through the wall at some points. So we're like, okay, that's freaking weird. But the most memorable thing that happened there for me was we had a dog at the time. He was like a part German Shepherd, Border Collie, beautiful dog, pretty big dog. And I was sleeping on the couch that night. I don't know why, but I was when I fall asleep watching TV or what it was. But the dog was right next to me, and I wake up to this loud freaking boom. And what it was the basement door had opened up on its own and slammed shut. I jumped probably about a foot. The dog jumped about, a foot. Like the dog is up looking around like I am, like what the hell is going on? So that happened, but that wasn't the only time it ever happened. The door would open and slam quite a bit. It got to the point where I had taken a knife and shoved it in the trim of the door so that the door wouldn't open up on its own in the middle of the night.
Just kind of shimmed it in there.
Yeah, I just kind of shimmed it in there, make it so that the door was not going to open on its own. Yeah, there's Dean.
What's up, Dean? Oh man, that's weird. I keep thinking about the carving on the door. I see some people in the chat saying that could be some sort of protective symbol as well, like a Hindu protective symbol, like if they're trying to protect the house, carving in the doors. So
I mean, I guess it was technically a peace symbol before the Nazis took it over.
Correct.
Just kind of stole it. Either way, that's some either pretty negative energy or pretty positive spiritual energy. So
yeah,
I don't know that growling is very positive in my book.
That's true. That's
I
true.
mean, if it is, that's a very confusing way to come across as positive, my friend. We need to reevaluate. Yeah, we need to reevaluate your approach here.
I don't know.
Yeah,
like it makes
basements
you think
are sus anyway, but growling basements.
Oh yeah, I'm not going down there.
I'll go into one for the show, but I won't go into one as like a pastime.
Right.
All right.
That makes sense. That probably
I
wouldn't either.
remember. Oh yeah, no. I remember being in the basement doing laundry and stuff like that. It always felt like somebody was watching you down there. It's always kind of a creepy feeling.
It is
Like
the worst.
I
feeling.
usually like basements, especially like a finished basement. I'm like, hell yeah, put a pool table down there. But this was, I don't know. There's definitely some kind of energy down there. You can just feel it while you're down there.
Yeah. That's weird. You got
So, yeah.
you got a lot of
It is weird,
of
man.
weird stuff that follows you around, Bert. This is kind of a common thread for our people. The weird
Yeah.
just kind of follows us all around.
It's true.
I dig it. Right here with all my people.
It makes life interesting.
That is,
To say the least.
that is a fact.
To say the least.
I'm glad you're feeling better, Steve.
Thanks, man. It was
Kyle.
beating my
Glad to
ass.
have you
just-
back. Oh,
After last weekend, I thought I had it whipped.
I know you said you were miserable.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. And then I started feeling better because, like I said, I was testing for an advancement at work, so I was kind of hyper focused on that, took my mind off of it, and I got that out of the way. And then just as soon as the next weekend kicked in, it was just wham, right again. I'm like,
Oh my
I'm
god.
feeling better now. Knock on wood.
That's good. Heck yeah.
Bird
All
is a
right,
ghost
guys.
magnet.
Is that what it
Ghost
says?
magnet
That's funny.
bird.
Like I said, it makes life interesting.
That's true. It gives us something
I
to
don't
talk
hate
about,
it.
man.
True. Just I don't know. I wanted to go back because I still live in the same town. I want to go over to that house and see about the people who live there now and be like, hey, is that door slamming on its own or what's going on with that?
Do it, but just nonchalant. Be nonchalant about it. Be like, listen, hypothetically speaking, have you heard any demonic growls from the basement?
Yeah,
And
is
if
the
you
basement
haven't,
trying to eat you?
if you haven't, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
If there's nothing
me,
going
there's-
on, forget I mentioned it, and then just
Right.
walk away.
Does it sound like a demon's trying to bust through your master bedroom wall up there?
Right.
Yeah. As another
Ugh.
one's growling and kicking in the basement door. If not, don't worry about it. Forget I stopped.
Just drop off some sage for him. See you guys later.
Yeah. Some Florida water. You're gonna need this.
This is a care package. Just wanted to welcome you to the neighborhood. We've been here for a few years. Well, that's your problem. Anyways. All right, guys. I'll let you go so you guys get somebody else calling in.
All right, big guy.
Yeah.
All right, later, guys.
Stay
Later.
safe, bud. I really do just legitimately love talking about weird stuff.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
I wish, I know, we are chronicling all these via media, but I almost just want to write them all down. You know what I mean? Like have everybody's hollow cult ledger.
Well, that's why I'm kind of going to start doing that on the website.
Hell yeah.
To a degree. I mean, Welcome to the night shift.
Yo.
Hi there.
What's going on?
Oh, well, I've kind of been off and on whether I should call in or not. I flipped a coin and decided to call in, but I don't know, you guys kind of got a trend going on. Do you find hearing a UFO story?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
All right, so this took place in the Yakima Valley. I want to say a few years back. I'm not quite sure, in Washington State. I was working at McDonald's at the time, and they basically came over and said, "Hey, guess what? Night shift isn't showing up, so you're staying here until they get here." So, like, all right, whatever. Who cares? Extra, few more hours. Anyway, I ended up staying, a few more hours until around 10 at night. They show up, I get off, I start heading home, and I live in the next town over. Well, there's two ways to go. You can take the highway or the back roads, and I'm all for the back roads. So I ended up going down there, normal drive. This is my life, kind of in the routine now. Well, as I start heading down this road, there are these two orange lights that come up real low across the road. And they kind of come across, and I'm like, huh, that's neat. I didn't know they crop dusted at night. And it took me a second. I'm like, well, you can't really crop dust at night. So I just drove by them. They came across the road. They were off doing their thing. And I kind of stopped and thought to myself, I'm like, well, that's really weird. Let's check this out. So I,
talked to you, it came back around, and these things were out in the field, not too far away. Kind of just going about. There's two orange, dull amber lights, and I'm kind of like freaking out. I'm like, I don't hear helicopters or Chinooks out there. The Yakima Firing Center is nearby. It's this large military training range, basically. And I'm just watching them like, I don't know what these things are. Well, eventually they kind of meander over in front of me back across the road. And at this point, I'm losing it. I'm, heart's racing. I'm freaking the fuck out. And I get my phone out. I start recording, and looking at this thing. Well, as I put my phone to the windshield and start recording, I look up and I see all these stars above me. It was, clear night. And they all start to move. I don't know if you've ever seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I think, when they do those sky shots and these stars are moving. It looked like that. And then I look back down at this object or this thing, and the lights are now parallel with the road coming towards me. So I kind of have a, realization. I'm like, well, I can drive forward and continue towards town and I'll be safe. Like nothing's going to hurt me. Or I can turn around and head through the back roads and I'll be home a lot quicker. But I'm going to be alone with this thing. So I make the decision to go ahead and drive past this thing. So I throw my phone in the passenger seat. I throw it in first and I gun it. And as I gun past this thing, I kind of look out the window to see what this thing is a little closer. And it looked like a gray triangle against a black sky. And it looked kind of like not a chevron, but like an arrowhead. It had its rear was kind of, tucked in a bit. It wasn't a complete triangle. And its point followed my vehicle as I drove past it. So I was flipping out. I was like, what the hell is this? And I drove along past it and into town racing there. Like I was freaking out. And I get into town and I'm like, I can't go to work and tell everybody I saw this thing in the sky. So I'm like, I need to get home. So I take the old highway and start heading down to my house. I just can't drive. I'm freaking out. So I pull over and I stop and I get out. I'm like trying to catch my breath. I look back from where I just come, and this thing is over there, and it's corkscrewing up into the sky and gaining altitude. And I was like, okay, so this is not time to play around. I'm not out of the woods yet. So I hop back in my car and I drive home, kind of collecting myself, getting my thoughts together. And I ended up getting back home and I hop out of my car and I look back up in the sky, and sure as heck, that thing is still there, just flying along at a much higher altitude now, mind you. And it just kind of went overhead. I don't know what I could gauge in elevation, but it went overhead and it just kept heading about, I guess, southeast through the Yakima Valley into the next county, I guess. But I watched it until it left the horizon, and that was it for that. And I mean, some weird stuff happened after, some of which I don't want to talk about, one of which has kind of started occurring recently again, which is bugging me some. But anyway, that's basically the story.
That's a good cliffhanger there. How big would you say this thing is if you had to like estimate how big the craft was?
I would have to say probably, I don't know, the size of a car maybe. When it came across the road in front of me and when I drove past it, it was about the same height up. I would estimate 2 telephone poles high. It wasn't like high up in the sky and it wasn't like touching the ground, it was in the middle somewhere. I'd say about treetop level, if I had to guess. But it was about the size of a car. It wasn't humongous or large, It looked, my guess after looking into all this stuff, it seemed earthly. I don't know if it was one of these prototype vehicles that we have or something. It made no noise. It did have exterior lights on it, but they seemed to change from when I first saw it to, driving under it. They had 2 bright orange amber lights, and when I drove under it, it had several sets of lights, kind of like, I don't want to call them landing lights because they were small and they were dim. They weren't like bright and glowing,
Yeah. That's
anyway. The a little bit of the history of the area too. Not too far away, there's a nuclear reactor in the 1940s. They started to enrich uranium into plutonium there. And there's accounts of these things being sighted in the area from like 1943 all the way up through 1947. In the same valley, Kenneth Arnold, had his famous sighting near Mount Rainier and landed in Yakima Valley as well. He's from the area. So it's kind of like a hotbed. Not a hotbed anymore, I'd say, but I guess the progenitor of some of this activity. I don't know. But
I don't even know. I wouldn't be able to keep my composure because
what do you mean?
like your entire experience there, the fact that like you consciously made a decision to drive towards it, which is
Well,
pretty
tough.
interesting. Yeah.
I'm
Right.
shaking, and I don't know if I could hear it in my voice, but I'm absolutely like, shivering right now just thinking about it. I was on the fence about calling and talking about it. I had talked about this account recently, actually, on Discord, on your guys' Discord, and I flipped a coin and it landed heads, so I called in.
So here you are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm glad that it came to our benefit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But man, I because it would scare the living hell out of me. I wouldn't lie. The fact that it goes all over that, because I know exactly where my brain would go. I know what my brain would think. I would think it's UFO. This is alien, and that I'm in not a good place. And at the same time, even if you were capable of being rational, and you were like, "Oh no, this is just some type of prototype," there's still that thought in the back of my head that's like, maybe I'm not supposed to be seeing this prototype right now.
I'm curious about the stars being manipulated.
Yeah.
Where was
Well,
the craft in response to where you were seeing that?
So if you could just imagine a road, let's say a straightaway, right? This is an agricultural area of the lower valley, and there's, I guess, an open field on one side with cows, and the other side, I think, was corn and a house. Someone's house lived out there. So this thing, in relation to me, was about, if I had to guess, 75 yards in front of me, to the right side of the road, 2 telephone posts high, tree top level. And when I was recording it, I kind of leaned forward and pushed my phone up against the glass of the windshield. And when I did that, I kind of looked up and it was above me. So above me in the sky are the stars. That's what I saw moving. And they're moving towards this thing. They weren't up real close. They looked like stars. I mean, they weren't any different. They weren't like giant UFOs. They just looked like fake stars is what I call them. It was really weird. I don't know what they were, but
That is so weird.
yeah, no. Anyway, yeah, I've never told this anywhere besides your Discord and family, eventually, but it's just been bugging me a lot. And so the thing that occurred after this, because this kind of started my research into the subject in my area, or in this area. And so I would be in bed with my ex at the time, and there'd be flashes in my room like someone was taking a picture. It just happened random times of the night when we were awake. We'd notice it, and it would be kind of weird and alarming. Well, this eventually tapered off and stopped, and I was kind of happy that it did. It was like someone took a flash photo at your window, and I was pretty happy. Nothing. But eventually, as years go on, I was thinking, well, am I insane? Like, did I just imagine all that stuff? I mean, I can't ask my ex about it. We're no longer together. But I just kind of figured like, oh, well, maybe I was imagining things, it's a long time ago. And as of like a month ago, I want to say the same thing happened at my father's property out in the countryside, with all of us experiencing it. This flash occurred like 3 or 4 times outside, and it was like bright, and it was like a light switch being flipped on and off. And none of us saw where it came from. None of us saw the source, but we all went outside. Well, me and my father did, to investigate. We found nothing. There was nothing out there. So I don't know. It just bugged me, and that's why I was like, I should tell somebody. I don't know.
That is
And I haven't heard anything. Like, I haven't heard any other shows or anything. Anybody bring up flashes of light at all in encounters. So.
Oh, I have.
Uh-oh.
I 100% have. That actually happened to me and my wife when we both saw at 3:00 in the morning an orange ball out the window. She thought somebody was shining a light.
The same thing.
She thought somebody was shining a light in our bedroom, and then to add on top of that, Steve, what happened in Sir No Face? Do you remember?
Sorry, what was that?
Yep.
Do you remember whenever the room would light up? Pow pow.
Yeah.
Bright light.
I don't know if anyone has watched. There's a documentary that Chad Kalick made called Sir No Face. And it was a ghost investigation that this ghost team did in Australia. and it goes completely off
Oh,
the
it gives me
rails.
goosebumps thinking about it.
But they have evidence of exactly what you are talking about. They are in this building with no power. There is no power going on, and there is a light source that is producing itself in this room, flashing on, flashing off, flashing.
They can't even
on,
figure out where it's
flashing
coming
off.
from.
No, they have no idea what's going on. They get it. They capture it on camera, and I didn't even make that connection. But also in the Andrews family haunting, whenever things started to heat up, they talk about the dad thinking it's lightning, but he said it's like someone flipped a switch on.
Yeah.
It's exactly how he described it, and would flip it back off before all this would take off. That's man, that is weird.
Very weird.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you guys shared that information. You know, I've listened. Like, you know, this whole encounter sparked my jump and plunge into the paranormal. And all I've heard, I think, Strange Familiar is one of their first episodes talked about Earth lights, but that's something, you know, that's not in the same realm, you know.
Right.
But anyway,
I think
well,
you can
I'm glad
find.
you guys let me know.
Yeah, I think you can find there's a series of 3 that Chad put together. There should be a 4th one coming out. The first one's called Sir No Face. The second one is Sir No Face the Gray. And the third one is
It's like Phantom Riders,
Phantom
something
Rider.
like that. Something
But
like that.
it starts out one
It's
way,
crazy.
and as it starts to evolve and morph, the whole scenario is just out
Yeah.
of bounds. I've been kind of half trying to get Chad to get a hold of him, see if he wants to come on the show and talk about it. But it is weird. And once Kyle brought that up, like they have like
Dude, it's
video
exactly what you
evidence
described.
of exactly what you're describing, where like the light flashes on and flashes off in the room. I was going to ask, you can answer this if you want or not, but the night that you saw the craft, was all your time accounted for?
Yes, I am. Also, I grew up like my father. He listened to Art Bell, and I watched, like, when I was younger, those, what are they, UFO files on like History Channel and stuff. That was as much as I knew, but I was able to account my time when I got home, because there was a moment when I got home, I kind of stood outside my front door and was like, I can't tell my family about this. You know, I checked the time. I knew what was going on, so nothing was out of the ordinary there as far as the encounter and what I had done. But God, that's kind of spooky. I was kind of hoping you guys were like, oh, I never heard that before. Oh well, like, so
It's
I mean,
like
I don't know.
all these puzzle pieces that you like need to take and try to put together. It's weird, man. Well, I'm glad you didn't have any missing time, because when you told me that you had like that you were inclined to park and get out of your car once you started heading home, I'm like, man, that's not good.
No.
You know? But
I mean, the way I could describe it was like, I don't know if you've ever, well, it was like it was a mirage. Like I was having trouble seeing, and I thought it was up to fear, like adrenaline. I've never been that fearful. I've been in other instances where that would, you know, I would have an adrenaline reaction and be afraid, but nothing was like that. I've never felt that way before. But I just felt sick. I felt horrible. I just couldn't drive. I literally couldn't drive. I was like, this isn't safe. I'm gonna crash. So I pulled over and got out of my car to kind of catch my breath.
That's crazy.
It was just a thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, man, it almost feels like something wanted you to get out of the car.
Well, I never thought that. I mean, there was no.
I mean, never mind.
There was no. There was no mind speak. There was no, like, you know, message transmitted. There was none of that. There was, you know, no inclination of anything. That's why I'm more. So there are photos taken in the Columbia River Gorge of this object flying near Portland or Troutdale, somewhere in that area, and it looks exactly like what I saw. I tried looking for them recently. I can't find the photos. I'm sure if I do, I'll throw them up on Discord, whatever. But
yeah, please.
Anyway,
Definitely.
yeah, let me know. You guys want me to hop off here? I know you guys probably need to take a few more calls.
Oh, it's okay, buddy.
But, yeah.
Thanks for calling in, man. It's really appreciated.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
That is wild. I'm still trying to figure out the whole like star manipulation thing. That's fucking weird.
Anyway, you guys take it easy. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right, buddy.
Thanks for calling in. Man.
Dude, it's weird.
Dude, I don't know.
That's a weird one. Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, I was thinking of you when he talked about the orange ball and the flash of the light.
Yeah.
And then I thought of the Andrews family again because weird. We have two absolutely different stories that kind of tie back into that whole juncture. But I didn't think about Sir No Face. I need to watch those again, man.
Yeah.
I saw Troy in here said that Chad had been super sick lately, I guess.
Yeah. I saw that on Instagram.
Man, that's
I think he's recovering though. I think he's recovering. At least last I saw.
Man, that is wild. It's wild. I love that he left it up to the coin as to whether or not he's going to call in.
Really interesting.
It is
Really
fate.
interesting.
Fate sent it.
It is fate. You want to take one more?
Yeah, sure. We
All right.
missed out last week. We'll take another one.
Welcome to the night shift.
Yo,
Hey boys, it's Mountain Man CJ back for a third time.
Let's go.
what's up?
Got a real quick one for you tonight.
All righty.
Hell yeah.
So this was March of this year, I think. My grandma came to town late last year, and she met up with some family friends. They needed a house sitter. I got volunteered. So I don't know these folks, but I went over there, house sat for them, day and a half, just one night there. So I don't know the history of the house. I don't know anything. But I slept in their spare bedroom that they just had, laying around. I think it was for one of their kids that had moved out. And I slept like a rock all night long, totally out. Didn't dream at all. And when I woke up, I was chanting 13 minutes, 13 seconds, 13 minutes, 13 seconds with my voice. And it freaked me out. And I stopped, tried to figure out what the heck it meant. And that was that.
That's weird.
That is weird.
That is fucking weird.
It freaks me out, man, because of course, the unlucky number, and I'm in some stranger's house and some stranger's bed, and I wake up chanting like I'm a cultist.
That sometimes I have things that I can like go back to and like try to connect the dots, but I have got nothing
Me either.
on this one. I
Me
want to
either.
look up. I want to look up if there's any significance to 13 minutes, 13 seconds.
Hey, maybe I got cursed. Who knows?
Well, I hope you're not. Hope it's not a curse.
Well, curses manufacture Holosky night calls.
That's fact. That is fact. I don't want to have to sacrifice the holocaust for calls, but 13 minutes there. Okay, let me rewrap my brain around this. Have you had any other, like, has 13 been significant in your life in any other forms or ways? Has it stood out before outside of you just knowing it being like the unlucky number?
Well, I don't know if it's something that follows me super hard. If anything, 7 follows me a bunch, but it's always there. Like my favorite football player wears 13, that kind of stuff. I'm not really big into synchronicities or numerology or anything, so I don't really pick up on that. So maybe.
Interesting. I was just curious if it had a specific tie to you, or if it was more tied to the house and the person you were house sitting for. Which sounds the case. Yeah, sounds the case.
The thing that wigs me out is the time units. Like 13 minutes, 13 seconds. Why would it be time instead of just the number, or I don't know, weight, something like that, or 13 months or years?
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know. Like, I have got nothing. I have got nothing.
So you wake up chanting like a cultist, and then you end up in the hollow cult.
The irony.
I don't know. I'm gonna do a little digging because that's weird. See if I can't find any significance. And if I do,
oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. If I do, I was just gonna bring it up and talk about it again.
Okay. The other thing that pointed out to me, I know I'm going long.
You're good.
The rhythm of it was very specific. There's 3 syllables each. and I was really hitting them really hard. 13 minutes, 13 seconds, 13 minutes.
So I don't know,
So
but that would scare the
fucking
shit out of me.
weird, bro.
That would scare the shit out of me.
That is weird.
That's all I
now I
got.
wish I was into like numerology and all that.
Yeah.
Hollow Cult, listen. Any numerologists out there? We need some 13 minutes, 13 seconds. Break that down. I see Kenneth in here. It's 793 seconds. Break it down for us. Let's figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, science my cult chanting.
Somebody will figure it out. Somebody smarter than us.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll be here for it. But thanks for all you guys do.
Thank you, buddy.
Yep. Thanks for calling in.
Heck yeah. Mountain Man CJ's out.
Yeah.
Later.
Stay safe and stay weird, brother.
Stay weird.
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
That's so weird.
What a
So
night.
weird, man. You guys brought it tonight. Dude, I was all of them were good again, man. You guys did not disappoint. You never do.
No.
But I was extra excited today.
Same.
And I know you can't tell it because I'm just a walking shell of a person after being sick, but I was so stoked to do this, and it's awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to get the ball back to rolling hard.
Yeah. We appreciate you all, and it's good to be back hanging out with our weird friends.
I got a cool interview to try to schedule between me and Steve and a listener. Supposed to be pretty good.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Possible Stardust Ranch type shit.
We got a new one?
Yes, sir.
New area?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah,
Somebody who wants to share their story with us. So we got to get that set up.
Fuck with it. Man, I've been dropping F-bombs like crazy. We're going to get kicked off of YouTube. I better shut up.
It happens.
But again, it's good to be back. Hollow Cult. It's good to have you all here hanging out. Check out all our fellow content creators. We got a bunch of people in the Ump It Up. I know I saw our dude Troy in the chat. He's putting together a horror audio little podcast audio thing going on. Definitely check it out.
Which I love.
Into the Abyss. He's getting that off the ground and kicking. Go check it out. Kenneth's got his things going. We got Burton. Paranormal Trucker was in here. Strange Road was in here. We had just tons of good people.
Absolutely.
So support independent, spooky content creators. They're what helps the weird world keep moving.
Facts.
But again, thank you all for hanging out with us. Thanks for being awesome in the chat. You guys are wonderful. And until next week, stay safe, stay weird, and Holosky is a cult.